Hi, Kiwi. Alright, we're back at Celeste, and take a look at that save file. Almost 6,000 deaths, but more importantly, the cassette and the crystal hearts from all 7 chapters. There's only one chapter that remains. And my goodness, has it been a journey to be able to do this. But here we go, the core. So if I recall, about a year later... Hi, Grandma and Bird. Hey there, kiddo. Nice to see you again. Here's the cave I told you about on the phone. Follow me. Hello, Bird. Goodbye, Bird. What is Bird? Oh, right. So if I recall, the main mechanic of this is that you do not regenerate your dash, which unfortunately means I can't really speedrun tech the same way I've been through most of the game. I imagine there will be a lot of jump regenerating gems here, but we'll see. What is this place? This passage leads to the center of the mountain. You said you wanted to come back and explore deeper. Doesn't get any deeper than this. Be careful, though. When you get this close to the heart of the mountain, its power will start affecting you differently. Yeah, I already noticed some of that. Good luck in there. Alright, here we go. Right, I need to be conservative about my dashes. So yeah, the crystal hearts open these gates. I'm assuming there must be several, and we've only seen the first. Oh, conveyor belts. Okay, interesting. And they've rocketed you up, so I can probably use their momentum. Yeah. Alright, I'm sure that will be used pretty heavily as our new mechanic. Oh, good. Cycle-based monsters to dodge. That's never gone poorly for me. Yeah, so far so good. Alright, what's your gimmick? Okay, you're basically a cloud, but a block. Gotcha. Oh, I didn't get my dash back. Oh. Okay. I see. What's the point of these fires? Is there like a hidden something or other here? Well, as fun as that seems, I'm not going to mess with it. My goal here is simply to beat this level. But how? Oh, wait. I gotcha. I think I need to dash through this so that I can latch on there. Oh, okay, it shakes in whatever direction I bounced in. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, while I figure this out, I figured I would talk about kind of my history with video games. I'm legitimately unsure how to get across here. Oh dear. I clearly need to get on top of that so I get the bounce. Wait, no, I figured it out. Okay, because it bounces to the... It goes in whichever direction I latch on, so all I need to do is latch on to the right. And there we go. Okay, figured it out. Cool. Anyway, so I figured today what I'll talk about, or ramble about, or whatever you want to call it, is my kind of like history with video games. So, the first game I ever played was definitely a Pokemon game, although I'm not sure which one. It was either Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Stadium for the N64. Pokemon Yellow was on the Gameboy Advanced. Man, can I touch that? I cannot. Okay. So, how do I get there? There's clearly something up there, too. I must be missing something. Let's see what's over this way. I think I probably wasted my... Oh, I forgot. I can't just hang out on the wall while I think. Alright, fair enough. So, yeah, I remember, I think it was probably Pokemon Stadium. My parents started me with an N64, and oh my goodness, Pokemon Stadium was such a tried and true classic, and honestly, I've been feeling very nostalgic. I kind of want to download it on my Switch and play it again. Berg. Yeah, cycle-based timing has never been my forte in this game, it seems. Well, that didn't help. But, oh man, what can I say about Pokemon Stadium? So, obviously, anyone who's played it knows the game starts off with rental Pokemon, so Pokemon with pre-decided stats and move pools, and the majority of them are quite... Why can't I time this right? The majority of them are quite terrible, frankly. But that's kind of the fun, finding the Pokemon that work. along with the meta staples like Persian and Taurus and Starmie and not Snorlax. If I recall, Snorlax in Gen 1 was pretty weak, but he became an absolute monster in Gen 2. Okay, bear with me a second. For some reason, this timing is just not clicking with me. I'm gonna use a dash, I guess. Yeah, that's fine, because I saw I could get here. Why did I do that? Oh, okay, it reset. Good. Anyway, but similarly, anyone who's ever played Pokemon Stadium knows the true majesty of the gameplay is in its mini-games. I spent so many hours just with my friends playing the button-mashing mini-games that were part of that game. I remember there's one where there's Sandshrews where you're mashing the trigger buttons, which back in the day, or well, still in the day, the triggers just are kind of unwieldy to mash, in my opinion. They always have been. It's just they just don't sit as easily against your fingers the way the A and the B buttons do. Also, shout out to anyone who remembers the day of the N64 controller and the sheer the physical damage it caused to your fingers after using it for so long. I don't know why they decided to make the control stick ridge. Well, I assume it just improves grip. But my goodness, was it very damaging to your fingers. I got so many if I played N64 for too long, I would get actual blisters on my finger, which I kind of find funny and kind of find concerning. I'm assuming this is, yeah, it looks almost like a galaxy bubble, but how to do this one? I'm gonna assume like that. Yeah, almost. Ooh, this is new. Oh, okay, so it turns them from fire to spikes. I can probably backtrack now. Wow, it completely changes the game. I don't know, should I go back or should I explore this? I guess I'll just keep going forward for now. See what I can find. Oh, guess you can get up there, that's cool. Anyway, I think if I had to say what my favorite minigame was, though, it was the one where you charge Voltorb and Electrodes with a mashing minigame. I was unbeatable against my group of friends in that minigame. Oh, you can jump on those. Fascinating. It doesn't regenerate your dash, but it does get you the distance. Okay. Oh, but it's frozen, so the conveyor belt is frozen, so I can't get up there. Okay. I like how this game is forcing me to learn mechanics by positioning its resources appropriately. Like, because I couldn't climb up there, I kept going to the left, grab the double jump gem to get up there, but now I know that conveyor belts freeze. Okay, and now, and that lava block is gone now too. But it turns other things into spikes, so it's still not safe. And then it's established that platforms will fall now. Okay. I like this. This is interesting. So it's basically going to be, depending on, for lack of a better word, the weather, you have a different experience in these levels. Fair enough. Oh, no conveyor belt. Okay, I can salvage this. Well, I almost salvaged this. I think this is fine. Yeah, there we go. And now I'm backtracking to that area before that I couldn't pass through. Alright, so far the course feels doable. I'm sure that will only cease to be... I'm sure that will cease to be in rapid fashion. Ah, here's the strawberry. So, oh, did I have... Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a nice physic there, but maybe not. Unclear. Okay, so I just have to wait for this to thaw to get the strawberry. So this thing doesn't regenerate my dash. I've got to be mindful of that. Okay. So I think naturally the best thing to do here is to jump onto the wall here and do that. Whoop. There's probably a way to angle this properly. Ooh, this is a tricky strawberry to get. But yeah, pretty much all of the minigames were either timing-based or mashing-based. But there's another one that I very much remember enjoying, and that was the Lick-a-Tongue minigame, where you had to eat as much sushi as possible against the CPUs. And, oh yeah, I played that a lot. I remember, it felt almost similar in vein to the Yoshi Story game, which was the way you beat Yoshi Story is there is a like a proper end to each level, but there is also okay, if you jump on these, if you press the jump button, you do get a little bit higher. It's like Mario, it's Mario hopping sort of style to that. Oh wait, I see a flip switch. Now I can use this again. Oh, even the music changes. Fascinating. Now the question is, do I want this hot or cold? Well, I don't get a choice anymore. It doesn't switch back. Okay. Fascinating. I'm sure I must have to come back through here with the ice physics on, since there's since the bumpers are here, I presume, but maybe not. Do I actually need to waste my dash here? I probably don't. I just need to get better timing is all. It's fine. It's not fine. But so the Look-a-Tongue game was basically you needed to grab food on a... it was a sushi conveyor belt, which you may or may not have ever seen before, Kiwi, but it basically is literally what it sounds like, a conveyor belt with plates of sushi on it. And then in Japan, the way those work is after you take your plate, you pay based on whatever the tier of plate you get. So the plates have like different colored rims on them, and that's how they can keep track of what you purchased and how much it costs. And then they just add up your total altogether at the end, is my understanding as far as I'm aware. And effectively, hold on, I think I need my brain for this for a second. I'm trying not to use my dash, but I use my dash anyway there. Oops. Still use my dash. It's fine. I can do this. But in the Look-a-Tongue game, basically, it was kind of that it was that thought process where you wanted to get the most expensive plates, and there was also spicy sushi, which if you ate, your Look-a-Tongue would just start panicking and flailing about and not be unable to eat for a moment. But it was a really these minigames were all really simple and really fun. If I ever do end up getting Pokemon Stadium for the Switch, I am absolutely going to play them with you at least once, just so you can suffer through my nostalgia again. Alright, you know what? There's a way to solve this. It's been a while since I practiced neutral sticking, like last episode almost. It's quite a while in Jeff timeline. The problem is, as soon as I get near the fire, my brain is processing don't go near the fire rather than... Alright, I can do this timing-wise. Good. Still wasted my dash, but I did it. Whatever. There's probably an easier way to do this. Maybe I just need to dash properly. Right, I really need to be mindful of the fact that I do not get to conserve my dash juice for very long. It's really just this line of fireballs that is ruining things for me. Okay, there we go. And with proper timing and dodging the fireballs, I'll get this. Alright, I get 4 jumps and then I have to jump off the wall. Gotcha. But I have to time it with the fireballs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. And jump. And there we go. Okay. That shouldn't have been as difficult as it was, but at least I pulled it off in the end. Right, and now it sinks because it doesn't have the fire mechanic. Gotcha. Oh no. We were close. Maybe I just climb up this wall. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. That should not have taken as long as it did. My goodness, did I do everything wrong in that room? Well, at least we're free. Anyway, I digress. Pokemon Pokemon Stadium 1, I spent so much time playing, and I have deep nostalgia for it, I suppose is what I'll say. And then Pokemon Stadium 2, its sequel, I honestly have less nostalgia for, but it did have some pretty fantastic minigames. My favorite one from that was the game featuring Delibird, where you have to just collect presents on from a conveyor belt. And then basically there are conveyor belts at the top and bottom of a room, and you as Delibird have to go and collect them as they spawn from their entry conveyor belt, and then put them on a different conveyor belt to basically collect points. And the better the presents you collect, the more points you get. Alright, I did not mentally process how to do this room, I just went straight for it. But I see what I need to do. I need to get high enough there. I wasted my dash, that's gonna make this difficult. Yeah. Alright, I see what I need to do. I need to dash after I hit that switch. Preferably after landing on that platform and jumping from it, you know? That was a little too late on that, or a little too early on that. Yeah, like that. Do this. I didn't have my dash. I was close, though. That's more or less what I need to do. And I can use this bumper appropriately to get over here. Pretty sure I need to hit that switch on the way so that I can get bumped back up by that platform. So let's try this again. A little too low again. Oh well. But the other part of Pokemon Stadium that made it so much fun was, of course, the actual like game that wasn't the mini games, of course, where you are using either rental Pokemon, or you could actually using a peripheral attachment for the N64 controller, upload your team from the main game, and then fight against preset enemy teams, some of which were absolutely brutal to deal with. Like, oops, the being able to beat the tournament modes, as they were called, or I guess they were called cups, but like they were effectively gym leader, a gauntlet of somewhere around, I want to say, 8 battles in a row, with preset opponents that would randomly choose from a set of 6 Pokemon. In Pokemon Stadium, you only did 4v4s rather than 6v6s, because that would take forever otherwise. Or maybe it was 3v3, I forget. It's been so long. I'm pretty sure, you know what, I think it was 3v3. Otherwise, the battles would just take an exorbitant amount of time. Oh, I wasted my dash. I really want to do speedrun tech, but I can't here. It's sad. It's like this level was made specifically to punish those who have been using known speedrun tech. Or maybe not punish, force them to think outside the box, even. Whatever the reasoning behind it is, it definitely, I can feel that mentality a little bit. Which, you know what, fair. The devs get to do what they want, and I'm pretty sure they made some of these levels, these later levels, knowing speedrun tech. I mean, I doubt they were aware of that speedrun tech. Well, they must have been aware of some things. There's no way they weren't, but I'd be curious to know what they knew and what they didn't, and how they adapted once they found out about certain tech. I digress. I need to do a diagonal there, or I won't be high enough to reach that switch. That's what I'm missing. But I just remember I never really played with non-rentals as much as my teams. And my original team on my yellow version wasn't anything special, to be honest. I think maybe they were competitively viable, but I had no idea what competitive Pokemon was in that day and age. There we go. I don't think I'm getting that strawberry without using the bumper properly, and I'm not going back for that. Ugh, that was rough. Anyway, I guess I can tell you a little bit about my first team from Pokemon Yellow. Like I said, I didn't really upload my Pokemon to Pokemon Stadium. I used the rentals, and I remember using Haunter and Gengar, Fearow. I know I used those guys a lot, because they had really good movesets in my book. I think Dabra did as well. And back in Gen 1, Psychic Pokemon were absolutely busted because there was nothing that could check them. But I digress. My first Pokemon team, I know I had Jolteon, I had Nidoking, I had Blastoise, I had Gengar. Who else did I have, though? Jolteon, Blastoise, Gengar, Nidoking, Butterfree. I definitely had Butterfree. I can save this. Get the gem. Get the jump juice. Yeah. I had the jump juice, but I wasted it. There we go. Okay. I needed to get that switch on the way out. Unfortunate. Oh, I see. I need to hit that switch, and then that'll make it so I can bounce over this way. Fair enough. So in theory, I only need one dash. Right, those bumpers will rocket me. But I think the thing you'll find funny is the sheer level of narcissism I had in my naming scheme. I named every single one of my Pokemon after myself as a kid, which, I mean, kids are going to be narcissistic. That's kind of their... Kids don't know anything other than the fact that they matter the most. But, yeah, so there was, like, I basically just named them all after the Pokemon and then put my name on them as well. So, like, Nidoking was King Jeff, Jolteon was Jolt Jeff, Blastoise was Shell Jeff, Butterfree was Butt Jeff. I remember that distinctly because it's so stupid. And, like, now I would look at that and be like, why would I name something that? But Jeff of the past sure did have a brilliant naming scheme. It just only got better with age, I guess. It went from kind of very narcissistic and predictable to completely unpredictable stream of conscious nonsense. If you've seen my cassette piece playthrough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, where does the name Clock of Jello come from? Oh well. Who am I to complain about my naming scheme? I'm the one who does it and enjoys it. Well, you get to enjoy it too, Kiwi, but still. Let's see. What else can I talk about? I mean, after Pokemon, what did I get? I mean, probably the next game in my N64 library would be the game that took the world by storm and became one of the staple speedrunning games of the world, Mario 64. And, of course, I didn't play Mario 64 very much as a kid because there were certain aspects of it that terrified me in classic fashion. I mean, I never got to have the experience of the, I think it's another eel, the eel in Banjo-Kazooie. But in Mario 64, there is an eel in Jolly Roger Bay that is absolutely terrifying to children. And rightfully so. It has giant, triangular, jagged, sharp teeth. It tries to bite you if you get close to it. And one of the levels requires you to get a star that is attached to its tail. So, you know, exactly what kids want from an enemy in their childhood game. But I went back and tried to speedrun Mario. I could never really get the backwards long jump right, unfortunately, which is kind of a... It may not be a crucial speed tech in all runs, but it definitely feels crucial for most runs. And I mean, you can obviously run Mario 64 without the BLJ, but I just wanted to pull off the BLJ because I find it hilarious that you're jumping upstairs backwards and it rockets you into, like, everything. Like, the BLJ is such a critical thing for Mario speedrunning overall. And even if it's not, it's just funny. I wanted to do it because it was funny. If that makes sense. Motivations are simple, but oh no, it's a, I guess this is technically an on-the-rails sort of situation, but I don't like this. Oh, well, what a surprise, the lava kills you if you touch it. Alright, so I guess now it's a race against time. Cool, we love that. Now I have to deal with cycle-based platforming and on-the-rails running for my life. I wonder what happens when I turn this into an ice zone. Oh, dodge that, barely. Oh, conveyor belt, okay. But what else? Let's see. So, of course, there was Mario 64. Oh, there were other levels that terrified me, too. I remember very distinctly, aside from the eel, the other thing that terrified me was the entirety of Boo's Big Haunt. So the haunted house themed level. I was so terrified of as a kid. I remember getting down to the lower floor from this little shack next to the mansion, and you start hearing this carousel type music playing. Alright, so it just slows it down, but it's still rising. Gotcha. So then I need to get up this way. Oops. That was unnecessary. It looks like it may have sped up a little bit as I got further up. Well, but anyway, I get down into this little basement area that's either connected to the main mansion if you fall through some of the floor, or take a elevator in a little shack off to the side of the mansion. And I just start hearing this carousel type music playing, and I remember starting to cry, turning the N64 off and running away. I was so scared. Like, it was just carousel music, but you could also hear the ghosts cackling in the background, I guess, which is part of the problem too. But still, for little Jeff, apparently ghosts were terrifying, which I guess is one more point in the Jeff is like Ash from Three Houses book, I suppose, because Ash is petrified of ghosts. But I'm not really afraid of ghosts anymore, I'd say. I still have like those, like, I'm walking in the darkness, mental nonsense terrors sort of things, but they're never as extreme as, oh goodness, it's an actual thing out to kill me, so much as a hallucinated, oh, this could be bad, but it probably isn't, because why would it be bad? Like, I can usually I guess the difference between an adult and a child is that you're more easily able to activate your rational mind over your fearful mind. Although, without getting too political, maybe it is not always, maybe that observation isn't necessarily always true. It's just the things that we use our emotional, our fearful mind for our... I don't know what the word I want to use here is, but the way we react is different, perhaps, but that guttural fear is maybe not entirely lost upon us. Oh, can't believe it. Wow, I tried the needle on that twice, didn't I? Okay, got it. I don't know why, but my brain does not handle moving objects and dodging them the same way it handles everything else, and it's a problem. At least in this game it is. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Mario 64 was probably the scariest game I owned as a kid. And again, I never played Banjo-Kazooie. I have friends that absolutely adore the game, but I personally have no experience with it outside of watching them play it a little bit. For some reason, I thought that might be a cracked wall that I could run through. Oop, that was supposed to be diagonal. Anyway, but yeah, Mario 64 hands down terrified me as a child, which I find kind of hilarious and equal parts sad. Because it's such a good game, and I was like too scared to enjoy it as a kid, which is a right shame. It's a game that I definitely would have loved if I had gotten more time to play it. I think I was also a little afraid of Bowser, but to a much lesser extent than the Boos. But, oh, hands down the most terrifying thing of Mario 64, it wasn't the eel, it wasn't the carousel music, it was the freaking piano in Boo's Big Haunt. There's effectively a library with a piano in it. And the piano, if you get too close, starts just aggressively chasing you down, making the sound of like a bunch of keyboard keys getting hit at once. Like, just if you were to lean your entire arm onto the keyboard, tung, 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 tung. It was so, oh my goodness. I think I found that first. And then I was like, okay, maybe outside the mansion is safe. And I went into that carousel room with the music, and that's just when I was like, my childhood heart gave out. Or my weak little child heart gave out. And I was done with Mario 64 for a while. Or at least I never played Boo's Big Haunt for like the rest of my childhood. I didn't have the stomach for it. or the Well-played Celeste is like poetry in motion. And not playing Celeste well is like screeching nails against the chalkboard of my own self-esteem and psyche. I don't know where this analogy is meant to go, but there we go. Anyway, so yeah, Mario 64 definitely brought me some nightmares as a child, along with Courage the Cowardly Dog, for reasons that are probably unnecessary to explain. But I will at least say one line that explains everything. Return the slab. Oh my goodness. Any child who grew up in the 90s, early 2000s and knows that line knows exactly why that triggers such deep emotional response. So I think I need to take that block low if I want the strawberry. Again, my goal in this game has never been the strawberries, but I'm not going to say no while I'm passing through. The only issue is, how do I get there? I have to be fast and not grab the, I have to jump over that platform, I bet, to get the strawberry. Well, what other games did I play as a kid? I mean, I mentioned briefly Yoshi's Story. That was another game I absolutely loved. I mean, if it hasn't become a trend already, I love food, and a game about eating all of the things is definitely up Jeff's alley. And I thought it's definitely, in hindsight, an interesting take on how most modern games play. Rather than getting to the level, the goal is to eat 30 fruits. And there are fruits strewn about the entire game. So which fruit you eat kind of determines your final score. And there was a reward for eating all of one fruit, specifically honeydew melons. There were exactly 30 honeydew melons in every level, and they give the most points. And you get a modifier, a bonus point modifier, for eating consecutively the same fruit. So you'd get like a 30 times multiplier on the highest point value fruit if you ate all 30. I forget if there was anything special unlocked for doing that. It may have just been the reward of score attacking, you know? So that's fine. I think I'm just going to leave this strawberry. I'm not feeling it. I just want to see the end of this level. Save that. Oh, didn't save it. Wait, maybe I can save this? No. Too low. If I had more time to think, I would probably go for the strawberry, but I'm just... Whew, it's... I don't think I have the mental capacity. Maybe one day I'll go back and complete the game. But I think... I said it before at the very start of this playthrough. My experience with Celeste is intended to be... see the game beat the challenges that I set for myself, not every challenge the game has, I suppose. I definitely could have salvaged that if I had jumped, but I just didn't have the momentum, or I guess the timing more than anything else. I do like these kind of... It's kind of a remix of the mechanics from the... Oh, right. Lava's still going. I can't pause after completing a stage and think anymore, which is rough for me. I liked having a brief moment of catch my breath. Oh well. I completely lost my train of thought there. The sheer shock of having to platform immediately has ruined things. But I guess, oh, Yoshi's Story. So I very much remember a very particular song, and I doubt I'm going to be able to recreate it. That game had very unique music. I think it's the best way to play it. I love when I think I played some songs for you because out of sheer nostalgia I was thinking about them. And the song I played for you was the Super Happy Tree theme, which on its own right is kind of a silly name, but just the Yoshi singing about their fruit tree. I very distinctly being like, why is this torture? This sounds like ear torture. Why are you doing this to me? And I thought it was hilarious. Because, honestly, you're kind of right. It is some degree of unabashed ear torture. Can I get this? Oh my goodness, this room is so long, Kiwi. Oh, hey, Battlein. Okay, we beat that room. Awesome. Oh, this is different. Aha. But why? Oh, it's in case you wasted your dash and you would have been soft locked. Gotcha. Okay, so then we should get our dash back once we transition rooms. There we go. Oh, okay, it's going up. Oh, it just keeps going up, so that's spooky. Oh, and now it goes down, and yep, it comes from the top. Interesting, interesting. Huh, well, anyway, the Super Happy Tree was a very special song, and then there's the other one, which I think plays in a sewer-themed level, that is just like, I don't think I can properly do it justice, but it's someone just going to the mic going like, bop, dickle, drop, drop, or something like that, and it's so stupid, but I love it unironically, or maybe entirely ironically, I don't know. Either way, Kiwi, I think this is a good place to end the episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.